So first we're just going to start with who you are, where you're from, what your job is.
Okay, so I'm Neil. My company name is Netlogyx, technology specialist. I spent, I guess, a dozen years in the army learning about security and running the defence communications network and all sorts of fun stuff like that. In the middle there, got married and had a couple of kids, and then got out of the army to join the real world in IT, and found that that was quite challenging. Certainly learned a lot in the military about being tolerant of other people and learning to deal with people that like to yell at you and things like that. But it was all good stuff. You can never say that the army training is bad. It's always really, really intense and really thorough. So I came out of there with a little bit of knowledge and joined the IT game and realised how much I didn't know.
Yeah.
And probably been on a learning journey for most of the last, since 1984 when I started. So the last 30, 40 years I've been learning more and more every time. I think that's what I love about IT. You have to keep learning just to keep up. And if you want to be really good at something, you have to focus. We've decided to focus on cybersecurity, and that means that we've had to learn everything about cybersecurity and how to best protect our clients and what we need to do that with. We spend a lot of time doing assessments before we actually recommend anything, and our clients, I guess, there's that connection when you start to ask them questions that they go, oh, I hadn't thought of that. What am I going to do about that? And you get them thinking. And then when they go to get cyber insurance and they're asked all the same questions, they go, oh, I need to know all that stuff. That should be in place.
Well, I guess from an industry perspective and with the public and with your clients, that IT is, the layman doesn't know a lot about it. So then you take it down even next to the next layer when you talk about a specific discipline within the industry, is cybersecurity. Then you're really talking about quite a bit of ignorance in general most of the time.
I think that would be the understatement of the century. Most people have no idea where they actually sit in the cybersecurity landscape. They don't know what the threats are and what the potential issues can be. I mean, the fact that 60% of businesses that get hacked go out of business within 6 months, that's frightening. And the number of threats and attacks that are happening every single day is increasing. The war in Russia and Ukraine, that's really made some difference in the amount of attacks that are happening. We keep abreast of what is coming out. We keep abreast of what we can do about it. Inevitably, you've got a variety of threats coming from vulnerabilities. You've got them coming from purely hackers trying to get in, and the biggest threat is your staff that don't know how to see a threat. And quite frankly, a little bit of training goes a long way in security, because your staff is your weakest link.
So what are we looking for when we're trying to ascertain a threat?
Well, threats consist of people trying to get in and get your stuff. In other words, your personal information, so that they can use that to create another threat, which might be in the form of an email, a phishing email, those sorts of things. Other threats are things like vulnerabilities in actual programs where, oh, we didn't know we had that hole, and all of a sudden, for example, Zoom had a hole in it where they could access PowerShell in the background, which is a program that can allow you to copy every bit of data on that PC to anywhere on the planet. So we've had to find products that can put a fence around that program and say you can't get to what you shouldn't be. You actually can only get to the video and the audio and so forth, to the picture. So that fence enables then the protection of lots of different programs that we don't even know there's a hole in yet.
I guess when you're talking about hackers and cybersecurity, I guess criminals, they're almost the top of the tree from a I guess a knowledge perspective.
Yeah, they're pretty smart people.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them, believe it or not, you can actually buy a hacker's kit on the dark web. It's supported 24/7, and you can buy a kit with X number of credit card details or whatever you like, or a kit that enables you to send out a virus and encrypt somebody's hardware, software and all their data and demand money. And it's all about the money. That's all they want. They don't care about your data. They couldn't care less about your data. But who does care is the government. They think that if you've put somebody else's information out there, that's a breach of privacy, and the Privacy Act is very fierce on what they can actually penalise you with. We're talking like minimum of $330,000 for an event. Wow. Where the government finds out, and then you've got all the reporting. If you don't have cybersecurity insurance to cover all the costs that might be associated with that reporting, your loss of reputation, loss of revenue, and all those things, if you don't have insurance in place, then you're going to go out of business because you simply can't afford it.
So for a small to medium business where email marketing and EDMs and all that kind of stuff and databases are so, I guess, important to that business, cybersecurity is a must.
Yeah, absolutely essential. If you've got all your information stored in a database and somebody gets at it, goodbye your information. And the biggest thing that people seem to miss is even though you've got your information in the cloud, it's still on your PC. And when somebody gets into that endpoint because it's not protected, they've got everything. So you can't just say, oh yeah, it's in the cloud, I'll be safe. No. You may be safe or you may have a way back, but it doesn't stop the breach. It doesn't stop the fact that that information has been taken and given to somebody else, sold, whatever on the dark web, and then it will be exploited further. Once the information goes out there, the exploitation goes on.
Well, many securities will attest that the cloud isn't safe. They put all their photos up on the cloud and suddenly everyone sees them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
We had a little, well, we take all our photos on our iPhones, yada, 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 and I logged into my Apple TV the other day and they created the slideshow from all my photos. I've gone, what the? How did that happen? So obviously when you stick stuff on iCloud, it's coming back through the channels into those sorts of functionality with your Apple TV. Mind you, you've always got the choice of not putting it there, but it's interesting to know that it's happening without a lot of people's knowledge. Even mine. I mean, you're learning something new every single day as to what can happen and what does happen.
It's not too dissimilar to digital marketing agencies where we're chasing the Google algorithm, we're chasing the Instagram algorithm. So you're always, got to try and stay one step ahead, which is almost impossible.
Well, the threat landscape changes every single day. We've got one product that doesn't even use definitions of virus to detect them. It doesn't know about them. It doesn't care about definitions. It looks at what the behaviour of that entity is, or what it's coming into the PC. It looks at the behaviour and it says, that looks like a virus. We're going to quarantine it just in case. Then it goes off and tests it in a sandbox, and if it's malicious, it's deleted. If it's not malicious, it lets it through.
Wow.
So it's clever stuff.
Yeah.
The new artificial intelligence in virus detection is absolutely amazing. So something comes out what they call 0 day. That's the first day that that virus gets into the wild. Now there might be 1 million people infected before it's detected and a signature's put into the antivirus engine, so every antivirus product on the planet knows it. Well, this product does not care about the signature. It's already detected it and stopped it. So it's gold.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Book your cybersecurity assessment today. Remember, Prevention is always cheaper than recovery,